Welcome to the episode you've all been waiting for, where we clean up and tune up our aluminum trailer. No, it's not a JDM legend, and we apologize for that, but after the shop cleanup, we thought, why not clean up the trailer too, because it needs a little bit of tuning up for our purposes. And by the way, this came up on sale. Pete and I have been looking for a trailer for a long time, really, but we wanted an all aluminum one because Pete has a SUV that he may do some towing with. Frankly, a steel trailer is fine behind the Tundra, but the less your load weighs, the less stress you're putting on your tow vehicle. So it's definitely not a bad thing. And living in Canada, having an aluminum trailer is a huge bonus because it won't rust the way a steel one does. Rust trailers up here just do not last that long. This is a full aluminum ATC unit. ATC stands for Aluminum Trailer Company, and they no longer make these open deck trailers. I believe they stopped making them in 2018 or maybe 2019, and this is a 2018 model year. So it is about as new as you're going to get in one of these if you want an ATC one. Obviously you can get them from other manufacturers, but ATC is known to be a very high quality manufacturer. So when we saw it come up for sale locally here for, what was it, $7,500, Pete?
Yeah.
It was just too good of a deal to say no on, especially since it's quite low mileage. We can tell from the condition and from having chatted with the seller that it has not been abused. It has not seen a lot of use. So it's kind of like buying a new trailer for about, I don't know, about half of what they would go for these days. We did really well to buy this at the price we did, and it's not a blue water trailer. That's just like the vendor who was selling these ATC units. So we'll take that off of there. It's got this horrible diamond plate Princess Auto box on here, which I think we're gonna ditch and replace with a winch, because we really do need a winch to get cars on and off of here when we blow motors up at, oh, I don't know, the dyno? Or the
Ouch,
racetrack.
that's a stinger.
A zinger. So yeah.
What is it? Do you remember what it weighs?
I do remember what it weighs. It weighs around 1,300 to 1,400 pounds, which is about 1,000 pounds lighter than a steel open deck trailer like this would weigh. So you're saving around 1,000 pounds. It's not the lightest aluminum trailer you can buy, but considering its size, it's an 18-footer, and it's got, you know, dual 7,500 pound axles. It's serious equipment. And here it is, everyone. This is our made in China winch. Cost a couple $100 on Amazon, and as you can see, it's rated for between 3,500 and 5,500 pounds.
No, it's a 5,500 pound one.
55, all right.
Yes, I got the big boy.
Made by the name brand of ACDK, because we all know who that is.
Listen, this thing had like hundreds of good reviews.
Yeah.
So that's why I purchased it. I was actually looking, other than like getting into, you know, brand name like Warren wrenches that are for trucks.
Hardcore off-road.
Yeah, hardcore stuff. Like, and they're very, very expensive at that price point.
And nobody ever bought a good review on Amazon, Peter, so I'm sure the reviews are totally trustworthy, but this does look like a nice kit. It's actually quite compact, and Pete went with the nylon style rope as opposed to metal cable. I guess just thinking it's less likely to do damage if it fails or something.
Yeah, like because of the elements that we expose this thing to, I always find the metal ones kind of like they get tight.
They get rusty.
They rust.
Yeah,
like, and you're saving, I think, 40 pounds going with that synthetic rope.
Yeah, this thing is actually quite light. I would say this only weighs.
It's kind of remarkable how much lighter it is. I figured, why not? Let's just give it a try.
Yeah, I would say this thing weighs maybe 15, 20 pounds at the most. So quite light, and you even went for the remote version.
Yes, I think that was a big game changer, because we do, you know, how many times do you, if you're alone trying to like winch a car up, it's a nightmare, where we're now with this, you can actually like sit inside the car.
Oh, you could do that
and,
too.
You know, winch yourself up, or like you said, be on the side.
And frankly, any remote that says in and out on it, that's a winner of a remote in my book. Well, before we get to what I thought was going to be a very exciting diamond plate box removal, we might actually leave this here for reasons that we'll explain shortly, but we're trying to determine where to mount the winch. I've had winches mounted on the floor of enclosed trailers before, and it worked okay, but the rope does drag on the floor of the trailer as it drops down. Like, this does have a drop tail on it, so it's going to rub as the elevation of the trailer changes there. So we're just trying to decide, like, how high would we have to mount it so that it doesn't rub. It does come out nicer than a cable.
See, I'm telling you, it's the future, synthetic rope.
Yeah, I do like. You can see how it's hitting as the drop tail drops down there. And this is probably, you know, if we have a tow hook on the front bumper of, say, the FRS, this is about the height it would be at, but it's only just touching really that one spot.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
Minor, I think.
We'll have to be at level with the top of the box, roughly.
Yeah.
And I would say that's, for this, what happens, as soon as the nose comes up on the ramp, it's going to be not binding anymore.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that's true. As soon as the car starts coming up the ramp,
so
it's only ever going to touch for moments, really. And, you know, a few moments of touching is not necessarily a bad thing, is it, Moose?
No.
Well, after a meeting of the minds, and there's not a lot of brain power around here, we did decide that we're going to mount the mounting plate onto this aluminum block that we have kicking around. I think you were using this for like welding on.
Yeah, as a heat sink.
A heat sink. We're going to use the heat sink as a winch mount.
First things first, we are going to mark our holes on the aluminum plate here, and I was going to use a marker, but Moose ran home and got these ingenious tools. Why don't you tell everybody what they're about here? Because I didn't even know about them.
They're centering punches. They're designed. They come in different sizes to allow you to basically fit this in a hole, which has a punch point in the middle there. Allows you to perfectly center. Because Sharpies are not that accurate. Here, we can literally center it in the hole, give it a tappy tap tap.
I already tapped that one, Moose.
Yes,
I don't want to
there you go.
re-tap again, so let's do this one. But yeah, you line it up, I guess.
Give it a tap. Transfers it right through, perfectly centered on the hole.
So now theoretically, everything should be lined up pretty much perfect, right?
Assuming when you drill it.
Well, we're going to be using a proper drill press here, so
Speed
I think
Academy
we'll be good.
precision machining happening
there you
here,
go.
everybody.
This being aluminum, it will cut much easier. I can't imagine having to cut through steel. This hole would take forever to do. Bam! Look at it! Next up here, what I want to do is recess the hole so that we can put this bolt in and it lays flat, obviously because we're bolting this to the bottom of the trailer. Now, in an ideal world, what I would have is a large enough bit, a milling bit, that would just open up that hole perfectly. However, I don't. So what I'm using is a smaller one, and I'm just gonna, like, you can see I've drawn a square here. All I'm gonna do is like come in here and then just cut along this way and then cut along this way and just mill it out to the point where I need it. So this is gonna take a little bit longer. Again, it'd be nice if it was a circle, but this is gonna be in the bottom. No one's gonna see it. It'll still work well.
All right, Pro Machinist, what you got?
Well, it was kind of pro over here. You can see the cuts are nice.
Yeah, those are nice.
And then over here, I just don't know what happened. We got a little walker, a little uneven, and it, yeah, didn't go so well. Thank goodness this is what you're going to see. So the function is there. It's going to serve that, and that's all we really needed, so we're good. All right, that is all of them. So we are in now. We can finally get all this bolted together.
Well, it's on there, super secure, and it's definitely not going anywhere. And that was the easiest job ever, wasn't it, Pete? Like, nothing about the alignment of these holes fought us whatsoever. We didn't have to do any of these jobs twice. Even getting like the nuts and washers on that little front plate. Easy peasy, guys. You can do this all in 2 minutes, so don't worry. It's an easy job. Next up, we got to wire this thing up, which means I'm going to go have a cup of tea, sit down, surf the internet, and let Pete figure this hot mess out.
wiring this thing turned out to be quite easy actually. The instructions are very well labeled. As you can see, we just mounted everything off to the side here, put a couple grommets through our ProPoint storage cabinet, and what we did is we actually hooked up a set of terminals, so when we're at the track, if we don't have this battery pack, we have these connectors to a battery, which comes in handy. I think that's the best way to go. So it seems like everything works. We've got a wireless remote, which is really going to be really nice. So you can see that works like a charm. I also wired up the wired one right here, and it's working well. The previous owner had cut out these holes for these recessed tow hook rings, and he said he didn't get around to installing them because the bolts were too short. So Dave just ran over to Brafasco, grabbed a couple of these, and we should be good to go, except, like with all things, somebody's cut these holes where now this hole is misaligned. And I can kind of get it in, but you can see it's crooked.
Oh no.
And it's not gonna go, god damn. So we're gonna have to like open one of these holes up a little bit, and then we can run it through.
Well, we failed to put this thing on the lift. It was just a little bit too wide to fit on there. We tried lifting it from in front of the axles, but it was just too imbalanced still. Not a safe play. So we're back to the old-fashioned way of just putting it up on some jack stands. And that's so that we get the wheels off, because we want to fluid film the axles and the springs back here. Really the only non-aluminum parts on this trailer we want to fluid film so that they don't rust. And as you can see, it's actually in remarkably good shape because it's only a couple of years old. It hasn't seen a lot of use. So it's still pretty fresh in here. Speaking of fresh, these ATC optional aluminum wheels are incredibly light, and I think a really nice looking wheel too. Not everyone would get excited about trailer wheels, but I actually do.
I dig them, man. They're cool.
They look good, and 15 by 5s, and they're crazy light. So anything to save weight, I guess, when you're going with an aluminum trailer. And we did notice when we're taking the wheels off that this one, and actually the one on the same axle on the other side, have a bit too much free play in them. A little bit difficult to show you the free play with the wheels off, so we just threw them back on here quickly to show you. But this wheel in particular, first of all, it spins way too easy. There's no drag happening there, which is often an indication that the bearing nut isn't tight enough. But you can also see there is a lot of play there.
That is crazy.
That's like over 1/8 of an inch, I would say. Where in this one, for one thing, you can hear and feel that it has some drag, so there's some tension in that, as there should be, and there's a tiny bit of play there. You probably can't even perceive it. I can feel it through my magical fingertips, and that's really the way it should be done. Come on. I'm just going back and forth.
You gotta spin it.
Oh, I'm spinning it. Now you're talking, PT. And these ATC axles, I think they're made by Dexter, have a pretty unique lock collar on here rather than like a traditional cotter pin. Check that out for a cotter pin. Now this guy, I bet you I can turn by hand, which means she got no drag at all. Very loose. So I've bottomed it out there, so I know I bottomed the bearing. Just gonna back it off a little bit. Still spinning pretty free.
I had to tighten it up on the other side pretty tight, DP.
Yeah?
Yeah. See, like that's still
got a little drag there.
Why don't we put the tire on? That seems like the best way to test this. Move it side to side.
I can already tell it's got more drag in it, and all that play is gone. So I think, personally, I think that's right where I want it. So.
All right, that's good. As Dave mentioned, we are going to be using our favorite rust protection fluid, and that is fluid film. This is their regular, I don't want to call it clear. It's almost like a yellow, ambery gold color, and then we've got the fluid film black, which is what we're gonna opt for today. And it's so good. Like, this stuff sticks to the metal and really is just gonna coat everything, and it being black, I think is kind of perfect for this area here, which is already black. The big thing with trailers is they sit outside for so long, especially up in our climate here. And it happens where that's where all of the rust happens, and you're just always fighting this game of like trying to keep it not from rusting, and this is going to help exactly that.
And there's that unique smell of fluid film, PT.
I like it.
I've come to like it. The first time I smelled it, I was like, nope, but now I kind of like it. And maybe it's just because it does such a good job of like sticking to everything. And you can use it for all kinds of other stuff too. It's a really good lubricant for like greasing chains or door locks. You know, you can use it in hinges. It's not just for undercoating and rust protection. You can use it as a penetrating fluid.
We kind of use it for everything, right?
We do, yeah. It's really a do everything kind of stuff, which is pretty awesome.
It is time we say goodbye to this blue water trailer sticker. I mean, it's pretty cool. It looks neat, but you know, we're trying to keep a low profile, and having a big sticker like that, I just don't love.
Well, we didn't buy it from them, and they just rebranded this ATC.
Well, that's the funny thing. As I peel this, what's underneath here is an outline of, if you can see this, it used to say aluminumtrailer.com. So that's kind of hilarious. They peel that sticker off and then put theirs on. If one wanted to clean this trailer up really nicely, what they would use is some aluminum wheel cleaner. This is from Sonex, of course. And I'm just gonna clean this area up here. You'll see real quick, it's not gonna take the glue off, but it's certainly going to shine it up.
Oh wow, yeah, it did shine it up.
You can see, if we did the whole trailer with this,
yeah,
which we still may, who knows? It would certainly give it like a new look.
Yeah.
And now what I'm gonna do is, I've got some Goo Gone here, so I'm gonna come in and spray it onto here, and that'll get rid of that little glue mark, which it would drive me crazy if we left it. At least now, it's much, much cleaner.
As some of you may know if you follow us on Instagram, our buddy Gabe's trailer, which we used more than Gabe, got stolen from out behind our shop here, and we actually have some security footage of that from the building next door that we'll show you now. Because of that experience, we've decided to step up our security game. And by the way, for all you trailer thieves out there, no, we're not going to put it out back here. We're not doing that again. We have a secret location planned to store this trailer. We don't want to keep it in the shop because it just takes up too much space. With that said, we are starting with these wheel chock locks from Kurt Manufacturing. These are a part of their Trimax lock series, and you can get more information on it from trimaxlocks.com. But we actually sourced these locally from Northern Performance, and we actually went to their website because we're in a lockdown right now, and we ordered these off their website, northernperformance.ca, and two days later, bam, these were here. So thank you very much, Northern Performance, for your quick service. And anyway, let's give you a quick demo. It's a pretty simple device. I'm sure you guys have seen these on, like, in the UK, they use these on your car when you get a parking ticket so you can't drive away or something. I don't know, they're gonna impound your car or whatever, but it basically is designed to make it very hard to steal a trailer and drag it down the road, because it's going to prevent the wheel from wanting to roll. We also ordered up this coupler lock from Northern Performance. This is also made by Kurt Manufacturing, and this is a heavy duty one. It's got this hardened steel ring on top and this ballistic nylon base to it, which should make it very difficult to cut through. Obviously, a really determined thief could cut through this, or any other kind of coupler lock you put on there. So again, we're just trying to slow them down here, but this will certainly make it harder for them to hook up their truck. A lot of times they'll try to drag it out anyway, which is what those chocks are for, but again, we're just adding as many layers of protection as we can here. Last but not least, from Kurt Manufacturing are this combo set of locks. This is for the hitch on my truck, and this is for the coupler release mechanism on the trailer. And typically you might use a pin like this on the coupler and a larger version of that to hold the hitch onto the truck, but these make for a much more secure connection. They're never going to come off accidentally, and obviously they're also going to make it much harder for somebody to break.
Since this was bugging you so much, DP, I figured it needed a Speed Academy sticker, which, by the way, you can find these on our merch store. We definitely don't plug in enough, but we do have merch for sale. Now, the real question is, am I going to get this straight on or not? But really doesn't matter. No, there it goes.
It's going to be better than Pro Point.
It's going to be better than Pro Point. And now if you see the sticker, you might be more inclined or less inclined to steal our trailer.
I hope so.
So next up here, we are going to load the FRS onto the trailer. You can see we've got the winch hooked up, and this nice little sleeve protector, or this rope protector, I think comes in very handy. But you can see there's no real slack, right? Or it's not tight. There's a lot of slack going on here. So it's not like it's gonna rub through or anything. And my remote here, let's see if this will actually work this far away from the winch. So, look at that, it's working. And man, that protector, like look, watch the sleeve, it's not actually moving. So that's super cool too.
Oh yeah. Pulling the rope through that.
I think we got ourselves a sweet setup here.
I think we do.
So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm struggling there a bit.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I think the battery that we have on it is
Oh, maybe it's the battery.
not great. So let's just switch that out. So this is the Eliminator booster pack. We've had this probably for like 40 years now, so it is getting weak. I've got a big boy battery in here, and now you'll notice we just tested it. The difference is quite significant.
Now to strap it on the trailer, and for that, first of all, you want to center the weight of the car over the axles as much as you can. You do need some tongue weight. We've actually shot an episode about how to measure tongue weight before, so top right corner for that. Maybe link in the description too. Anyway, centering it over the axle is not a bad place to start. And for securing it to the car, we like to use these straps through the wheels. There's lots of different ways you can do it, but we like this method best. We might wrap this in a microfiber towel if it was a wheel that we really worried a lot about. These old OEM wheels we're not too worried about. So we're gonna cross strap across the front, and in the back we may do the same. There's different theories about whether you cross strap or straight strap. We found cross strapping actually helps put better tension in it. The load's less likely to move, so that's how we're gonna do it.
We are on the road now. We're actually going to go take the FRS back to Toyota Canada, which means a bit of a road trip, but I'm happy to be doing it with this trailer, our own trailer, for once and for all, right? We've been borrowing trailers for a long time.
For the last 5 years, we've been bumming trailers off of our buddies, and thank you to everyone who's loaned us trailer. Gabe and Enviado at top of that list. But man, we're finally ballers with an aluminum trailer.
Yeah, man.
We've made it, PT. We've made it.
I guess we have. We have. So let's talk about the trailer a little bit more. Like you're driving. How does it feel?
I mean, it feels like I'm towing less weight, which is ultimately the goal, because it means the truck's going to stop better.
Yeah.
I'm going to get, you're much less likely to get into a scenario where the tail's trying to wag the dog. The trailer's not going to try to push the truck in an emergency stopping situation. And really, that's what it comes down to for me, towing with this truck, is it's going to be safer and easier, lower stress on the truck, easier on the transmission. And of course, if you ever tow with your SUV, your secret SUV that nobody knows about yet.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's going to be pleasant as well, I think. So
I think so.
We'll find out. One other thing worth mentioning is our fancy Kurt Echo wireless brake controller. This is a Bluetooth plug-in that goes into your connector on the back and allows you to control your electric trailer brakes with that via Bluetooth, which is pretty amazing. And we've got the controller here on my phone, so it shows us when I hit the brakes. You can see I'm using 20% brakes there. I'll brake a little harder. You'll see.
Do you feel that helps a lot with the trailer?
Yeah, it really makes the whole package feel like it's braking together.
Yeah.
Where before, if you don't have a brake controller at all, the trailer kind of wants to lift the tail end of the truck up, right? Because nothing's slowing it down.
Right, yeah.
So it makes the front brakes work a lot harder.
Yeah.
So this allows the whole braking system to work much easier.
I kind of feel like even over those really harsh bumps, it doesn't have a lot of like that rearward sway that we used to have, right, with like a real heavy trailer.
Yeah, and I mean, part of that comes down to that the Tundra has fairly light springs in it. It's not like a super heavy duty truck. So with a heavier load, you're more likely to get that rear end sort of bounce.
Gotcha.
So, and you'll experience the same in the SUV, which is lightly sprung, relatively speaking. So having a light trailer definitely definitely smooths the ride out, no doubt about it. And I think these ATC trailers have quite a nice pivot system for the rear axles too, which allow it to kind of soak up the bumps better than a lot of other trailers, which are a much more primitive setup than that.
Right,
so
yeah.
all in all, I think it's a win, PT.
Yeah, man, I'm super pumped. So thank you guys. We're gonna end it here for staying with us on this one. I know a trailer episode isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but I hope you guys learned something. And make sure to like and subscribe. Certainly post a comment if you like this type of video and if we should create more of this type of content.
And please, don't steal our new trailer.